But yeah, I don't know how to even kick this off other than should we try to define like what probate is? Is that a good place to start?
Yeah, because I do have clients who come in and I say something about probate, and I've learned over the years you can't just say it because maybe they've heard the term, but they're like, what is that? Is that a
Right.
place? Is it a what?
Right.
So, yeah, so probate is when we say probate, you end up in probate, you're going to probate, you have to do probate. What that is a court proceeding. And even that, I think, I'm not sure if people are aware. I learn new things about the different kinds of courts and proceedings we have, even as a lawyer. So there's different courts. There's a court you'll go to for a traffic ticket, right? That's different from the court that you go to for a probate proceeding. So it's a circuit court proceeding, and it depends. There's different which island you're on.
Mhm.
Each the neighbor islands are their own circuits. Honolulu, Oahu is a circuit. So it's a circuit court proceeding that deals with wills, people without wills. When a person has passed away, if there's something that needs attention that hasn't been able to be fixed outside of the court, you end up in court, and that is the probate proceeding.
Now, you don't necessarily have to go to court, right?
Right, right. Yeah,
Because I
yeah.
think some people might think, oh, probate, I gotta go before there's these lawyers, there's a judge, there's a jury, and I want to get my property that's supposed to be passed. But you don't actually have to go. It's just a court process, right?
Right. It's a court process, and we'll go into the differences in more detail, but there's informal, there's formal.
Mm,
Informal probates do not involve even a judge.
mm,
They involve the registrar of the court. The formal probate proceedings do involve a hearing before a judge. For Hawaii, and even for First Circuit, Oahu, they're implementing a process where if all the paperwork is in and all the interested people have signed off and there's no one else has filed anything saying they plan to appear or object, and it's fairly straightforward, it's possible that the court will call the case on the day of the hearing, but nobody actually has to appear. They just are saying, okay, this case is being presented to us. Everything looks good in order. We're going to grant it and then move on. So even the lawyer isn't like on the call, on the Zoom in the courtroom that day. But even if you as the client don't typically have to show up. That's why you hire an attorney,
mm.
for, let's say it does require the judge wants to ask questions, or not all the paperwork was completed, or you couldn't get all the interested people to sign the appropriate documents. Even if there is an actual court hearing where they call it like on TV and the judge is sitting there and you have to go up, if you have an attorney, you yourself don't have to go. That's why you hire attorneys. If you're going to represent yourself, you're going to end up with a formal hearing, because I've never seen someone do all the paperwork correctly in that instance. And then you do have to show up and talk to the judge and the other attorneys.
Gotcha. And I think probate has a relatively negative stigma, and I'm hoping that we can kind of put people at ease because the whole idea of probate, it has a negative connotation to it, but it's there to protect people. It's there to help. It's there to really a court process there to help people, not to make your life miserable, right?
Right.
Uh,
Yeah, and that's why with estate planning it gets tricky, because I'll have people come in, and if there's an instance where it's a very because a lot of people think like, I don't have that much money, I don't have that much stuff, I've got one kid or I've got two kids. Like, it's not good. There shouldn't be a problem. There shouldn't be a fight. This shouldn't take a long time. If so if the idea is, do I need to do the estate plan? Would probate be that bad in this case? For even those simple, straightforward, everyone's on the same page cases, I still advocate for estate planning, because you eliminate the unknown variables. You've got control, you can close the universe, here's what we're doing.
mm,
But if you didn't do planning and you find yourself needing to do a probate, it isn't going to be this process every single time that requires the court hearing that takes, thousands. People think thousands and thousands of dollars and years of their life. That's in worst case scenarios. That's what happens. So again, for like the straightforward people, it's not the end of the world. You know, when I have someone calling freaking out that they have to do a probate and they're terribly upset and they're so nervous and they're so worried and they're starting to panic, I'm like, okay, no, it's going to be fine. You know,
Right.
if what you're telling me is true and here's the what we're dealing with, it won't be that bad. So it's not the end of the world. Should we still try to avoid it? Yes, but today's show is about what if we're in it or what is it? So
Right.
yeah,
Right.
probate's not the end of the world every single time. It's rarely like that big, lengthy, thousands of dollars process.
The opinions and statements presented on this show are for general information only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations. Never make any investment or financial decisions based on information offered on this show without first consulting your financial, legal, or tax advisor. All economic and performance information mentioned on the show is historical in nature and is not indicative of any future results. All indices mentioned on this show are unmanaged and cannot be invested in directly. All information is believed to be from reliable sources. However, we make no representation as to its completeness or accuracy. Lastly, all opinions expressed by Jason Katita and any guests on the show are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of or are endorsed by ToBA Financial. For Jason Katita, investment advisory services are offered through ToBA Financial LLC, a registered investment advisor offering advisory services in the state of Hawaii and in other jurisdictions where exempt from registration.